As such, it is my great honor to be introducing the world premiere of Durga Chew-Bose's Bonjour Tristesse. A sincere thank you to our presenting sponsors, Rogers, as well as our major sponsors, RBC and Visa, for their continued support. We would also like to thank our government supporters, the Government of Ontario, Telefilm Canada, and the City of Toronto. Further, the Discovery Program is made possible through the generous support of Air France. Finally, we would like to thank Elevation Pictures, Film Constellation, and United Talent Agency for providing us with this film. Bonjour Tristesse is eligible for the Best Canadian Discovery Award, as well as the People's Choice Award presented by Rogers. You can vote for as many films as you like on tiff.net/vote. Durga Chew-Bose was born in Montreal. She is the author of Too Much and Not in the Mood, a book of essays, and has co-produced the films Shadowboxing and Mother's Day. Bonjour Tristesse is her feature debut. Notably, Durga is also the recipient of this year's Emerging Artist Award at TIFF. Let's give her a warm welcome to the stage. She's joined by producers Katie Bird-Nolan and Lindsay Tapscott.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We just wanted to take a quick moment to thank our wonderful partners on the project, without whom we would not be standing here today. It's been a long road, and we're very happy to be here. Telefilm Canada for its incredible support over the years. Our sales partners, Film Constellation and UTA. Our co-producing partners, Barry Films, MIPA, and Cinenovo. Our very dear family at Elevation Pictures. And last but not least, the incredible support of Suzanne Court, our fairy godmother.
We would also like to thank the publishing team at Éditions Juliard in Paris, to Delphine de la Tapenneterie, who answered all of our very persistent emails over the course of 3 years, and most of all to Denis Vestoff, the son of Françoise Sagan, for his incredible belief in the three of us and for trusting us with his mother's word. Denis, merci beaucoup.
So we made this movie last year in Cassis, about 30 minutes from Marseille. Most of our crew is based in and around there, and most of them can't be here today, but it was a really magical time, and every single person involved in the film, you can really feel their contribution in every frame, and I'm really grateful to our family there in Cassis. We also have members of our crew here tonight, and I'd love to mention them. Our colorist, Jean Cloutier, is here. Our editor, Amélie Labrèche, is also here. Our composer, Leslie Barber, whose music I actually first encountered at TIFF when I came to the premiere of Manchester by the Sea. Her work is also in this film. Our cinematographer, Maximilian Pittner, he's also here tonight. And our costume designer, who celebrated her birthday yesterday, Miyako Belize, is here. I'd also love to thank our cast, who are all here tonight. I'm so grateful for their trust in this project, and I'm so happy to see them again. I also would like to mention Katie and Lindsay, who this was their dream, this was their idea, and they're finally standing on stage presenting this film, and it's a really, really big deal. So I just want to The three of us could not have made this film without our friends and family. They are also a very large part of this project and have found their way into the film in many, many ways, and a lot of our family and friends are here, some who have come from out of town, and we are so grateful for their support throughout these 8 years. And finally, I'd really just love to thank this audience. You are the first audience to see this film, and so you all mean so very much to me. Thank you.
We're going to come back after the film for a Q&A, so definitely stick around. There's a lot more to discuss. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Durga Chew-Bose, Lily McInerney, Chloë Sevigny, Clay Spang, Alyosha Schneider, and Naila Hartzoon, as well as producers Katie Bird-Nolan and Lindsay Tapscott. Congratulations. I'd love to begin by asking you a question, Durga. You came on as a scriptwriter about 7 years ago. Can you tell us what first drew you to this story?
I think what first drew me to it was that I wasn't particularly drawn to it. I wasn't really sure what I could contribute, like what could be more additive. It had been made already into a gorgeous film that I was such a fan of. But Katie and Lindsay are very persistent. And they saw something in my voice that that could make like a contemporary version of this, but sort of more a continuation in the tradition of the book and the film. And so, I don't know, there were so many parts. I loved all the women, and I loved the chance at telling their story again and more and deeper and more inside their minds and hearts. I loved, I'm a huge fan of father-daughter films, and this felt like a chance at having my go at that too. Yeah, those are a couple examples.
And how did it come about that you also became the director?
I think it was just like a natural process of, you know, making a movie has many lifetimes and many false starts, and I think that we finally came to it as a team that it felt like kind of the obvious choice.
Lily, I want to congratulate you on this iconic performance. It was absolutely beautiful.
Thank you all so much.
Could you give us a sense of how you prepared for this role?
Yeah. Durga and I were very closely communicating about her from the very moment I knew I would be playing this role. I got the opportunity to have some rehearsal time in Cassis where we shot with Clace. We had about a nice 2 weeks of sort of getting to know each other and getting to know the town we were staying in, the environment, getting to sort of ease into it and sort of understand the physical world that Cecile would embody, which was a really lovely way to prepare. Besides that, I loved doing character work with music and wardrobe. I was working closely with our amazing costume designer, Miyako, from the very beginning. Yes. One of the defining qualities of this film, I think, are the costumes. And it was really wonderful to begin my character work working closely alongside her in some of our earliest fittings, finding Cecile's shoes and all of her silhouettes. So that was really helpful as well.
Speaking of iconic, Chloe, I love you. But you did such a beautiful rendition of Anne. You brought so much softness to the role, and I'd love for you to tell us about how you approached this character.
Did I? I feel like I could have brought more, but it was my first time seeing it, so I'm hypercritical of my own performance, like a good actor should be. But I was channeling the softness. I think I was thinking a lot about Durga and how soft she is as a person. And whenever I was challenged with the part, I just thought of the warmth that she emanates like naturally, and her gentleness and her kindness and her patience and her consideration. And I really felt like I wanted to infuse Anne with those certain aspects that I was drawn to in Durga, my brilliant director.
Chloe, for you, you're wonderful as Raymond. I'd love for you to give us a sense of how you approach this character.
Yeah. Well, I think when I read this, the thing that that sort of interested me the most was the relationship with the father and the daughter. And I thought, when I put it down, I was like, I don't think I'd ever seen anything like that before. I'd never read anything like that before. And I don't know how I approached it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's basically very much there, I feel. It's obviously there's the book, but what Durga has written very much just put me and Lily where we needed to be. I felt I didn't. It's not to be arrogant about it, but I don't know what I did actually. I just went there and did it. Sort of, and it was easy because it was brilliant writing, and Lily it was just a treasure of. It was just wonderful digging into that whole thing and to see it on screen and. I bloody think we pulled it off. So, yeah, cool. Very good.
The whole ensemble is phenomenal. And Alyosha and Nelia, I have the same question for you. Could you give us some insights into how the set was? Do you have any memories of the set that you could share with us?
I don't know, like a different approach that Durga had. And it was the first time for me, it was... we talked a lot about music. Durga did a lot of playlists, Spotify playlists, and it's hard to say exactly how it changed, like what we did as actors, but it really made a difference, and it's a fantastic way to share things that you can't share really with the words.
I think Durga watched us with love, and with love everything is possible. So I feel very free on this set.
Katie and Lindsay, I know this was a huge journey for you. I'm sure getting the rights to Bonjour Tristesse was not a simple process. Can you give us an insight of what it actually took to get this project off the ground?
Yes. Yes, it took a long time. We read the book, Lindsay and I, and we went for a walk in Witchwood Park, and Lindsay literally said, wonder if the rights are available. And we said, let's try. And so we sent some cold emails off to Éditions Juillard that went unanswered for a very long time. We just kept emailing. And they finally got back to us and said, they're available, but you cannot have them. So we just kept going, and we wrote love letters about our fathers to Denis, who's in the audience, and to Éditions Juillard. I went to Paris in 2017 and went to Éditions Juillard and asked for 6 months just to find a writer. We only had Durga in mind, and she didn't know us at the time, so it was a real swing and a hit. She came on, and then things started moving, but it took about 3 years from start to finish to sign the option, and then we started working with Durga on the script.
Oh gosh, I mean, that's the story. That's it. Yes, we're obviously thrilled.
We're a mess today.
It's been a very long journey. We're thrilled and very happy that we have this wonderful cast who has brought this story to life in ways that we very much imagined and also couldn't imagine. It's been a dream, really.
Thank you all.
So before we Before we take some questions from the audience, so I'd love for you to think of some questions that are not comments about the film specifically. But Durga, there's so much more that came to making the film, and you brought on a lot of team members that you thanked at the beginning. I'd love for you to talk about how you assembled your team and how you brought all those players together.
Well, Max, our cinematographer, where is he? Max, stand up. Where? There we go. Max has a really incredible skill at getting what he wants. And I start by saying that because it's amazing to have a collaborator like that. He had made a film prior called Harka, and everything that I admired and loved about it, it was told to me that those were his visual ideas, that was his language, those were his instincts, and I'm really drawn to people who are very instinctive with their work, and so it was kind of like in one of my drafts, I was rewriting the script, and I was like rewriting it with Max in mind, so it was it felt like in the stars, and it was out of my control, and working with him made it clear to me that we can make a movie that we all want together, so that's Max. Miyako, who's also here, can you please stand up? I knew there was only one costume designer I wanted to work with, and it was Miyako, and I was pretty clear to Katie and Lindsay that I would not make this film without her. So she is so brilliant, so rigorous, has a deep love for costume design history, which I find really inspiring, and is also, this is really worth noting, a complete joy to work with. And she's often the first person our cast meets, sometimes before even I meet them. And then in the mornings, one of the first people that the cast meets before I see them. And her joy sets the tone for the day. And her ability to get along with anyone also sets the tone. So I knew I wanted to work with someone like that. Her sensitivities and her sense of beauty is just like, there's nobody else like her. So also I had to work with her. We worked with Françoise Sagan, who did our set design, our production design. I had long admired his work. He works often with Olivier Assayas, and I just felt like he understood clutter and lived in spaces, and so yeah, and our editor, Amélie Lebrèche, who's here, I don't know where she is. Amélie, can you stand up too? Amelie's a genius. She's extraordinarily talented and careful and patient and wants to take chances and loves story, also loves when nothing happens in story, which is exciting for me. And the time that we spent together, it feels really holy looking back on it. It was really intimate. You go from working with a lot of people on set to being one-on-one with someone for a long time. And it's really intimate and intuitive, and yeah, I just think she's she's the great editors. So again, I said I wanted to work with her, and here we are.
Made everything happen.
Yeah. Katie and Lindsay, I should say that it's been such a privilege to make this movie, but I've also been extraordinarily spoiled in this process because they always say yes before they say no. And they always find a way of making something happen. And if it doesn't work out 6 months later, they'll say, we've been quietly, secretly working towards making it work. And they pull it off, so.
Katie's crying.
Yeah.
I was going to say also, though, I mean, getting all of these people on board, it's like as soon as you speak to Durga, I was resistant to the script in the beginning as well. I was like, oh, that old tale, the younger girl swoops the guy, and then but then we spoke for 5 minutes, and I was like, okay, I'm on board. It's just Durga has a way of speaking about her work and what she wants to communicate, and you just fall in love with her and her words, and no one can really say no to her.
All right, hold your arms up high. It's very difficult to see. Yes, in the balcony you are wearing a hat.
Well,
Just to repeat the question for everyone, the question was for Chloë. The question was about your previous work of playing unlikable characters, and there was a comment about this character being, in a way, unlikable, and how you approached that.
Well, I mean, I always only play myself. And I'm not taking the piss here. I really mean it. Because I always try to look for something in there that I can relate to in order to find something that resonates, because I feel that's the only way I can make it sort of true and believable. So there's lots of me in The Prick and Bad Sisters. And there's also a lot of me in this. But I think it's always, it's you let yourself meet whatever is there, the words, these wonderful people, and that sort of shapes it. But it's definitely so much more fun and so much more interesting to play these characters that are slightly unlikable, because there's so much more to play with. And what I really like about this guy, the guy in Bad Sisters, he deliberately wants to hurt people, right? But I don't think this one does. I think this one truly wants the best, especially for his daughter, and that was quite touching to me. And that the way that their connection and their bond sort of becomes a problem, because when people try to get in